what's up? Think you gon' play me, just know that I'm not one of them. Feel like I don't know you, don't come around, no invaders them.
It's your boy Noto, coming to you another video, coming to you another podcast, man. And in today's podcast, we're going to discuss body game. Be careful who you hang around as an attractive man. If you're new here or you already been here, go and click that like button, go ahead and comment on and subscribe. Click that notification bell so you can be notified whenever I drop a video. And without further ado, let's go and get into this topic, man. I'm going to tell you right now, bro. You're going to have to be careful of the company you keep, either when you on your journey to become an attractive man or you already are an attractive man. And the thing is, it'll be the people that you would least expect, bro. It can come in the form of being your homies. It can be your homies that you knew in high school, the homies that you might be hanging out with now. It could be your family, it could be your brothers, it can be your sisters, it can be your pop, it can be your mom, it could be so many different people. But we gonna focus on just like the regular homies and stuff like that. And I'm gonna tell you guys a couple stories. So hopefully you guys can learn from this. If you get any of these signals and any of these signs, you might need to reevaluate the circle and the company that you keep. Because, bro, like, everything ain't what it always looked like. So I'm gonna tell you this first story right here. This first story came, my stepdad at the time, he had some friends. He introduced me to his neighborhood, and I ended up meeting one of his homies. And his homies from back in who he grew up with or whatever. And one of his homies ended up inviting one of his girls on a night out one time when I was hanging out with them. And she got in the car, and I'm talking about like a fine, thick something. I'm not going to describe too much of her like that, but definitely up there. Definitely up there. She about like a 9. Definitely up there, thick as hell. I'm talking about everybody breaking their necks type deal. But she was new in town. She came from somewhere else, and I ain't gonna mention where she came from. But he ended up inviting her. We ended up being introduced, ended up talking to her. I was like, okay. Then we kind of like, we clicked real good. We definitely clicked real good. And eventually she wasn't really messing with him too much. After that night, she wasn't really messing with him like that. So we ended up talking. We was being cool, and then it got to the point where me and her were just starting to hang out. So we'll start to hang out a little bit. It was more of a club type situation. She'll come out. She'll ask me like if I'm coming out, and I'll come out because she was coming out to the spot I used to be going to. So okay, we started coming out there because me, my homies, and all us, we used to always be hanging out at this spot, at this particular spot. So eventually she ended up being introduced to the homies and all that. We was hanging, chilling, doing our thing. So as time went on, it was like, dang man, who that is? Who that, bro? You doing that? You hitting that, Because to be honest with you, she was more of like a platonic friend at that point in time. We was cool. It was almost like I was basically like friend zoned at the time, because I was like, I guess I wasn't her type at the time. I wouldn't say I wasn't that type, but I wasn't really stepping down. I was really just being cool, calm, collect. She was, just hanging, just trying to get the lay of the land type deal. But I noticed like everything, she was chilling, but she was hanging, she was standing with me, sticking to me, because once you in a new spot, nobody don't know who you is, so you're gonna stick to the person that you know. So everywhere I went, pretty much she went. So it almost looked like she was my girl. You know what I mean? So the homie was like, dang, like, bro, like who that is? And introduced her and stuff like that. They were like, that's you, bro, that's you. I was like, nah, we just chilling, we cooling or whatever. But she was a lot like standoffish. So she wasn't really like messing with nobody like that. She was going, she got a little drink or whatever, and we started hanging out. That's how it was. It was cooler. Now as time progressed, she got cool, started seeing the homies as, people that she knew. She started knowing, getting to know different people. But she was always like, home base was pretty much being around me. So things took a turn like one night when I was hanging out at the club. We was at this other club that you got to go down into, and it's almost like a basement type of club. And one of the guys that I ain't gonna never forget, like one of the guys that I was locked up with had to came back out, and he was like, "Dang, who this is? Who this is?" Because like when I told him that when I told him that I had like women and stuff, in jail, a lot of dudes be lying and stuff like that. But that wasn't even the case with me and her. But he saw that I was with her. He was like, "Dang, man, bro, you wasn't lying, bro." He was like, I'm like, "Yeah, whatever." I was chilling. I was really like more like nonchalant about the situation because I just saw her as a friend type deal. So I was standing on the railing over there by like it was kind of like by the speakers, close like right next to the dance floor type situation. She was kind of like at the bar, kind of just scoping a bit. But there was a whole bunch of chicks around. I'm chilling. I'm just vibing. I had my drink. This one I was drinking at the time. And she looked back and then she came around all of a sudden and like put her arm within mine. And then she whispered in my ear, was like, "You can't see all these girls checking you out?" Like, damn. And this is the time when I told you guys because I was oblivious to choosing signals at this time. So I didn't know when women was checking me out. I ain't know, all this other stuff. Like I kind of knew, but it had to be like a blatant choosing signal at that point in time because I was oblivious and I was just on my own little world. Like I said, I was more nonchalant. I was just in the building. I would be loosened up for the drinks, but I was really there just to kind of just do my own thing. I'm there and everybody else just happened to be here type deal. That's kind of how I was about it. And then ever since then, I noticed the dynamic changed with this. The dynamic definitely changed. So what she would do in a lot of situations, she would go and grab the girls and introduce the girls that were checking me out to me. So this how she kind of like became like a wingman and type deal. She was a wingman type deal. And trust me, this story is gone. So I'm gonna take this. I'm just telling you how this relationship kind of formulated. So I told you guys about her before, but I never went into it like this. So she became like the perfect wingman almost, because she was a baddie, but she was attracting other baddies. She ended up accumulating a bunch of friends. She had friends from back home visiting, coming up. So she was exposing me to a bunch of them, and a lot of them was just chilling, cool, and some of them were like dancers. And I'm gonna tell you right now, like getting acquainted with dancers isn't easy as a lot of people may think it is, because it's hard to not be seen as a customer, and it's hard to get into their personal life without going out to the club to see them, because you don't really see them anywhere else. And if you see them in the store and try to hop down on them, it's just like they just trying to get to their next destination. But when you have a formal introduction and like through a friend or through a family member, you go to a function where they care about stuff like that. You can get in with them there. But anywhere else, trying to pick up a dancer in the club, I'm gonna tell you now, that's not it's not easy. But I'm really trying to get into it. I'm gonna get back on subject with this. Okay, she was introducing me to all these women and stuff. So it got to the point where she ended up having this group of baddies that she would go around and hang with. She'll have like 2 or 3 of them that she'll go to the club with, come to the spot with. She got to the point where she accumulated this friend group, and I was at the center of it. Well, not like the center as in like I was the one recruiting them. I was just there because you remember she was always hitched to me, and she was attached to me because I was one of the first people she met when she got there, and she clicked with me more than just about all the other homies and all that. They had their chance with them, because when she first met me, it was only like a week till she met my homies and stuff. So it ain't like she had months in advance to get to know me and all that, right? So as she would bring the friends around, and we was to go to the spot and hang out with the homies and stuff, I started noticing like different things, because the friends that she brought around, they was getting acquainted with me, like they was on some other type of time with me. They was dancing with me, doing like sexual stuff with me. And the thing about this is, she was always going back to how my body looked. She was always talking, and that was another way how she was introducing the women to me. And this is like, that's why I put the body game in this, because I was really buff then, but I was I was leaner then, but I was like in between, kind of about what the size I am now, but a little bit trimmer. But I had like, I was always wearing like the gas station small shirts, and I would wear tank tops. Man, that worked for me. She was always rubbing my arms and like jokingly say that to the women, but they'll come over and just start rubbing too. They'll always incorporate that. So whenever I told y'all like I used to go in there with the shirt and then take my shirt off and drop it behind the DJ booth. So I would do that, and then after that, a lot of the dynamics changed. He'll be like, "Whoa, oh my God, look at these muscles!" Like she was always the most enthusiastic and over the top type person. When she was like, when it came to like hyping me up, she was always doing that in front of her friends and all that stuff too. So the friends was like, "Damn, yeah, look at them!" Like, and all of them be start like rubbing on me and stuff. And then I was noticing the homies was doing that, but they were trying to come over and get the same reaction, but it didn't happen. So I was starting to see different things at that point in time that I wasn't noticing. They'll stand up and one of the homies just basically said, Man, forget you. That's what almost started something one time that night. Because my one thing my friend didn't play about is somebody messing with her friends, talking to her friends any kind of way. So that's how she was with that. So after that went on, like one night it got like real heated one time. Like the one that was talking, it'll be from time to time they'll come around and be like, we get money, we doing this, we doing that. And it started happening on a consistent basis. It was like two of the homies out of the group. It was about 5 or 6 other homies. But it was like two of them that used to come around flexing and flogging a little bit. But when you like from a certain area and stuff, that's a different way. But it got to the point where they got mad that they was getting rejected by the groups of women that she would bring around. So they'll try to make up for it and like try to make up ground by flexing, by saying this is what I got, but I don't need y'all, but I got my own money, I'm doing this. So like it didn't seem like it was directed at me or nothing like that, because it just felt like they just had personal vendettas against the chicks. But then it got to the point where like when I had my tank top on one night and they were like, bro, we don't need no muscles. We got this money, we got this. And I was thinking like, I should have known then. You see what I mean? I should have known then, but I kind of brushed it off. I just kind of like just laughed it off. And I think it was like nothing. We all drinking, we all just doing this, and she was doing that. And my friend was kind of looking around, kind of funny one time. So when she one night it got heated, and she just started saying like, "Man, y'all doing this and doing that," but she was basically like boosting me up and like putting them down because she started noticing what they was doing. She caught on to what they were doing way before I did, but I was too stupid to really notice it. So she was basically like lifting me up and saying, "Hey, y'all ain't this and y'all ain't that." And she came and talked to me, and she was like, "Bro, you shouldn't be." She was like, "You shouldn't be hanging around them. You too good to be." Basically saying I'm too good to be hanging around them. Like you on a different level than them. Like why you hanging around them? Like they hating on you. And I ain't even think of it like that. You understand? Like I knew these guys for years. I knew these guys for like a couple years. So it never really came off like that. Because I'm gonna tell you like now, the caliber of chicks we was hanging around, it was like just regular hood fine type chicks. It was okay, and we never had like any personal dynamics. We wasn't really going off places chilling with them. So when we went off to a certain place, we went off to like one of friends' houses, one of something like that, and we was like in a personal environment. Everybody was chilling around, the homies was around, the friends was around, but they was texting other people and stuff like that, and a couple of them was choosing on me and doing that type of dynamic. Like every time I came around, I got the friendly energy and this and inviting energy, hug, touchy energy. Ooh, you looking good. It was always that type of deal with me whenever I came around. But when they was around, like, and they were trying to get interactions, they kind of gave them the cold shoulder, but like the friendly, but don't get too close type vibe with them. And I was noticing that. And a lot of guys the guy that night, they kind of got mad about that, and said, man, man, forget these girls, man. I ain't messing with them, man. I'm tired of them. Started going off because of his frustration because he wasn't getting. He was trying to put down on the girls all night and just wasn't getting nowhere. And then like he just kind of just started going off and just started expressing his frustrations. But then that's when my friend came out and started saying stuff about them and started hitting them kind of like below the belt, like kind of like hit his pride. And she kind of like incorporated me, and she was like, man, you need to chill out. 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 and saying like, y'all doing this, y'all really hating on this man. Like she really just, like, she was the type, she was real straightforward, and she already saw it for what it was. It wasn't about just the chicks. They was mad that the chicks was going after me because they knew me and they hang out with me. But you gotta understand, when you hanging out with guys, and this is guys, this is why it's never gonna work if you hanging out with guys that don't get the same results you get with women. And every time a woman come around, guys, always understand this one guy's gonna show their real true colors whenever the girls are around. That's why you gotta watch how they are when chicks are around. When they ain't getting their way with chicks. You know, you gotta look at the bad times. Like when they getting rejected, how they gonna act? What if they get rejected and you get chose, how they gonna act then? You gotta watch them little stuff, them little cues, them little backhanded remarks they make. They come off in joking ways, you know. You gotta watch that. So she called it out, and I'm telling you, like that hit a nerve. Like ever since then, they started acting like real funny toward me. It got to the point where we was in the club, we was at the spot, and I was over there standing with them because I guess it was at a point where it was beefing. But like I said, I don't really like getting in between stuff. And at that point, like even when she called it out, I took it in, but I ain't taking it because I'm still thinking like this is my homie. You know, I don't think he hating on me. You know, you still questioning yourself because you still got an attachment to your homie. You thinking like, man, he wouldn't do me like that, you know. But then now, like when you look back on it, I'm thinking like, dang, they really was hating. They really was doing that, and she called it out, and that's why they was acting funny whenever I tried to come when I was hanging around the friend group. I remember, like I told you, she used to come by. She used to go from club to clubs, and one of those that first club we used to be at the spot was mainly like a pregame club because it closed before the other clubs. So it was almost like a pregame club. You come in there, you chill, you parlay for a couple hours, and you kind of like dip and go out to the other clubs you want to go to. Because remember, they baddies. They ain't gonna be in that place for too long. They really go over there to get like free validation, free drinks, probably get a sugar daddy or two, and then slide in that place. It ain't really that beneficial for chicks of they caliber. So they like to go to the more upscale clubs, more other clubs, like where they can enjoy themselves and post up and be around different crowd type deal. So I'm gonna tell you like this: after I done smashed a couple of her friends and like seeing like she was, I guess because the friends always talk, and she would come to me and talk to me about different situations. So it came to a point where the dynamic started changing to the point where she basically wanted me to come over and smash. But at this point in time, she had then gave up her apartment living space and started staying with a family member, a family member that was over there that moved over there a little bit after she came. So she was staying with a family member. And whenever he like left off, I would come through the back door in the morning whenever he drove off to work. This family member, right? She tried to disguise it as a family member, but I know it wasn't a family member. I knew it was a situation where she was just using the guy for the living space at the time, but she was referring to him as a family member, so nobody else would really question it and really be down her throat about it, because she was in a position where she was in transition of moving and all that stuff there. So she had to go through that for a time. So she was dealing with him for a little bit, just because of that, whatever. So whenever he would leave off and drop off in the morning, I would come around the back. I would come around the back of the house, come in the back of the house. Like it was almost like clockwork. Like as soon as they pulled up, I was already waiting by a tree in the back behind the house. I would come in, and then that was the first time we smashed. Like that was the first time. I was like, dang, it was cool. It was crazy. Like I hit a couple real good looking chicks before, but like that was just another level. I never had it on that level, because her friends was cool, but it was different with her. Her friends was still bad too, but it was different with her because like she was the start of it, And I just in my head, I'm like, I can't believe this after everything and how everything started. So I went there, did that, and then it was like 2 or 3 days later, did the same thing. It was the same routine, snuck around the back as soon as he was pulling off, because he went to work every morning, like 5 days a week. So I was already waiting, pulled off, went through, did it again, type deal. So lo and behold, like the next week or something like that, she'll come off and it'll be like, she was kind of mad at me because she was like, I can't believe you did that. Like, said that, because it was a rumor going around saying that we smashed. But then I was thinking back to it when my homies was asking like, bro, you hit that, bro, you hit that, bro. You know you want to hit that, bro. You always around her, bro. Like you ain't trying to do that. You ain't like, it was like trying to pry an answer out of me, trying to really pry an answer out of me. And I was thinking like, I thought back to that time when it was like grilling me. But I was like, this can't be because because like I truly hit this and ain't say nothing. Like I didn't tell nobody about this. I was like, nah, I don't give a damn. This the secret I'm taking to the grave. So I'm like, bro, I told her, I promise you I ain't telling nobody. I absolutely promise her. But the rumor that they had was laid on so thick to the point where it almost came off as so believable. I don't know, like these guys, like if they put as much effort into themselves as they did into trying to sabotage me, bro, like it would have they would be on some greatness level. They can probably write scripts. But they definitely spread the rumor, tried to ruin stuff with me, and that's a big point. And I found out who it was, and I thought about it. I was like, these the guys that was always grilling, always doing the most. So and it hurt it because I was hanging with them and it was cool, and it's gonna be like that. But you got to be careful who you hang around because they'll try to backstab you, they'll try to backdoor you over some poom. They'll never get. Bro, you guys got to be careful around that, man. When they making little backhanded comments when the chicks around, trying to bring you down and all that. And there was another instance too that reminded me of that time. She got a sister, and her sister was bad. Like she was sold on me from the beginning. Like, she came up and told me that her sister wanted me, but the other homies wanted her real bad too, cause she was bad. Like her sister was bad, bad, and she had that money. Like she had that money, real nice car and all that, pull up and all that. This one I was like, I think I was transitioning from college at that point in time. But no, I had a roommate. I was in college, but I had a roommate in his house. So, but her sister, bro, like she was sold on me from the beginning. Like she was crazy. But she was sold on me from the beginning, and they didn't like that either, because one of the guys was trying to get down on her, but she wasn't feeling that. She was like, every time he tried to grab on, when they be drunk and trying to get touchy feely, she was sliding away from him and coming around me and feeling on me. Like her sister was the most handsiest chick that I've ever met. Like her hands could not stay off rubbing on my body, especially whenever I took the tank top off. She was like, she was in a whole different world with me. She was always just rubbing all over. She loved my chest, but my arms was my trademark. My arms and my chest was my trademark. And I was trying to tame it down in the midsection. I wasn't never like ripped, but it looked good on me. You see what I'm saying? Like she was always on my arms and always feeling on me. So that time they got real jealous of that situation. So I was talking about that. So that was probably like pushing them to do way more to sabotage. So guys, you gotta look out. You gotta look out for the people that you be around, bro. And in this last story I had, his roommate, he was pretty cool. He was pretty cool at first, but noticing I was going to college and I started bringing the chicks through. And I was bringing them, but he always had like these ratchet looking chicks. Like always like ratchet, don't look like much. But whenever I brought chicks that look good, bad, and coming through to the back room and smashing them and all that, and walking past him and this ratchet shit sitting on the couch, going back to smash and all that, like getting funny looks from him. I started getting funny energy from the guy. I was like, bro, like we was cool, and everything, but it started being funny energy around the house and stuff. So one night, this is how I know there was ultimate disrespect. He had a homie, and this homie had a girl. I came back. I guess I don't know what I was doing. I was coming back from the college or something like that. They was having like a little shindig or whatever. I was hanging out with one of them. I came back, and his girl, his friend and his girl, he let his friend, his homie and his girl smash him. They were smashing in my bed. So I go in there, they laying in my bed, laid up in my bro. Like I ain't even finna lie to you, bro. I'm so glad I ain't had that. Bro, if I ain't had that thing on me, and my head space was in the right, like I had a lot of more control of my anger at that point in time. But What I wanted to do when I seen them roll up in my bed after they got done smashing, bro, I was ready to take both of them off the senses. It's no lie. So what I did, I said, I'm gonna walk out of here. I'm gonna take a walk, and y'all better be the hell out of my room. You better be the fuck out of my room by the time I come out. I'm cussing their ass out, all kind of shit, like, you know, whatever. And I slammed the door. Went out, boom, walked down the street, and I came back down. So I had to go off on my, had to cuss out my roommate, all kind of shit, like, and we just fell out. Bro, I'm just telling you now, you just gotta be careful around the people you put yourself around when you become an attractive man, because they will actively try to sabotage you. They will feel some type of way. If they not doing the same thing you doing, it's gonna come off real offensive to them. They can't handle that, bro. They can't handle that. They can't be around that type of energy. It's gonna be constantly checking them. So it's gonna hit them every time. When the girls come around and they seeing that you getting this and they not, that's when they true colors gonna come out, man. But I just had to gonna tell y'all that, because y'all gotta be careful, bro. It can be your homies. You gonna try to overlook it because you're so cool. Y'all done know each other for a while. Oh, he wouldn't do this for me. Yes, they will. Yes, they will do it. Your brothers, all of them, they will do it, bro. You can't overlook that just because y'all had a relationship or just because y'all was cool. But anyway, it's your boy Noto, coming to you another video, coming to you another podcast, man. If you're enjoying the content, go ahead and click that like button, go ahead and comment on and subscribe. Click that notification bell so you be notified whenever I drop a video. And remember, guys, anybody can improve themselves. They want to work at it. I'm out.
I'm chillin', I really ain't worried about niggas. I promise I keep it a Kuna Matata. Even though niggas be looking and sounding like me, that boy Morris said I'm not the father. Swear I'm a dog, get vicious when I'm irritated. I might need a shock on my collar. Don't got a filter, just keep it straightforward. I play my position, Andre Iguodala. Ain't no exposing me, I get in D, hit a ovary. Don't even go down that road with me. And if a chicken obsessed, I don't need it. I want that Miss Parker with Professor Ogilvy. Bitch ain't no testing me, none of these bitches be stressing me. Capping like they got the best of me. If she go off and get with another man, really she still gon' be thinking about sexing me. Done with these bitches, let's get to the paper. One piece of the pie, sell out on the merit. Chasing that money, Coyote Road Runner, ain't doing no talking, just like Tom and Jerry. Ain't no beef or no drama, it won't make no money to me, it's just unnecessary. But if I'm pushed, I'm gon' have to crash out on a nigga, and then I'ma call up as Gary.